In 2022, a man named Ken Dahl noticed something strange. His car insurance premium jumped 21% overnight. No accidents, no tickets, nothing had changed. So he called his insurer and asked why. They told him to request his file from a company called LexisNexis. What he received was a 258-page document. It listed every single trip he had taken over the past 6 months. 640 trips. Every time he braked too hard. Every time he accelerated too fast. Every late-night drive. Every destination. Logged every 3 seconds. His own car, a Chevrolet Bolt he thought he owned, had been quietly recording everything he did behind the wheel. And selling it. Not to hackers, not to the government, to his insurance company. And the worst part? He never agreed to any of it. This is the story of how the car in your driveway became the most sophisticated surveillance device you've ever owned, and how an entire industry was built to profit from it without you ever knowing. To understand how this happened, you need to see the machine. It has 3 parts. First, your car. Every modern vehicle sold today is a computer on wheels. It has sensors measuring your speed, your braking force, your acceleration, your GPS location, sometimes your voice, your facial expressions, even your weight from the seat sensor. More than 90% of new cars can transmit this data back to the manufacturer in real time. Second, the data brokers. Companies like LexisNexis, Risk Solutions, and Verisk Analytics. They don't make cars. They don't sell insurance. They sit in the middle. They buy your driving data from automakers, package it into detailed consumer reports, and sell those reports to anyone willing to pay. LexisNexis claims access to real-world driving behavior from more than 10 million vehicles. Verisk built something called a driving DNA score, a single number that rates how risky you are based on data your car collected without your knowledge. Third, the insurance companies. They buy these reports and use them to set your rates, to deny your coverage, to raise your premium, and they never have to tell you why. The whole system was designed to operate in silence. Your car watches, the broker's package, the insurer's profit. And you just get the bill. The company at the center of this was General Motors. Through its OnStar system, GM created a feature called Smart Driver. It was marketed as a helpful tool, a way to assess your driving habits. What it actually was? A surveillance pipeline. Smart Driver collected data every 3 seconds. Speed, braking, acceleration, location, time of day, trip duration. Every detail of every drive. Then GM sold that data directly to LexisNexis and Verisk. Up to 8 million drivers were enrolled, most without ever realizing it. The enrollment process was buried in fine print, hidden behind confusing screens. GM knew exactly what it was doing. And it worked. Until March 11, 2024, when the New York Times published an investigation that blew the whole thing open. Ken Dahl's story was the centerpiece. A man who couldn't understand why his insurance had spiked, until he saw the 258-page dossier his own car had compiled on him. Within weeks, GM shut down the Smart Driver program. They terminated their partnerships with LexisNexis and Verisk. But the damage was done. 8 million drivers' data was already in the system, already sold, already used against them. Ken Dahl wasn't alone. Philip Siefka owned a Toyota. Clean record. No tickets in almost a decade. No accidents since the 90s. When he renewed his policy 6 months after buying the car, his rate had jumped to over $400 a month, with no explanation. Then he hit his brakes hard one day while driving. Less than 24 hours later, Progressive already knew about it. His Toyota had reported the incident directly to the insurer. Think about that. One hard brake, reported within a day, without his knowledge or consent. Then there was the Cadillac owner in Florida. After his car reported on him, he was denied coverage by 7 different insurance companies. 7. He ended up paying double his previous premium just to get anyone, to insure him. And then there's the case that shows just how broken this system is. A man applied for Progressive insurance and received a quote for $1,618. Normal. Then Progressive ran his LexisNexis report. His new quote? $6,613. A 309% increase. But here's the twist. The LexisNexis report contained information about a completely different person. The wrong data, the wrong driver. And it nearly quadrupled his premium. Your entire driving profile, every trip, every break, every turn, sold for 26 cents. That's what Honda got paid per car when it shared data from 97,000 vehicles with Verisk. 26 cents. Less than the cost of a gumball. But GM was only one piece. What Allstate built was far worse. Allstate owns a subsidiary called Arity. And Arity did something that should terrify you. They built a software development kit, a hidden piece of tracking code, and paid app developers millions of dollars to embed it inside popular mobile apps. Apps you've probably used, including Life 360, the family safety app that 45 million people downloaded to keep track of their kids. When you installed Life 360, you unknowingly installed Allstate's tracking software. It used your phone's GPS and accelerometer to build a complete driving profile: how fast you drove, how hard you braked, where you went, when you went there. Arity collected trillions of miles of driving data from over 45 million Americans. The Texas Attorney General called it the world's largest driving behavior database. And Allstate didn't just use this data for its own policies. It sold the profiles to other insurance carriers, who used them to raise rates, deny coverage, and drop policyholders. In January 2025, Texas became the first state to sue under its comprehensive data privacy law. The penalties? Up to $17,000 per violation. With 45 million people tracked, the potential liability is astronomical. But here's what makes it worse. This wasn't your car reporting on you. This was your phone. An app you trusted with your family's safety was secretly feeding your driving data to one of the largest insurance companies in America. In September 2023, the Mozilla Foundation, the nonprofit behind Firefox, published a report that should have been front-page news everywhere. They reviewed 25 major car brands for their privacy practices. The result? Every single one failed. 100%. It was the worst product category Mozilla had ever reviewed in the 7-year history of their Privacy Not Included guide. All 25 brands collect too much personal data. 84% share or sell it. 92% give drivers little to no control over their information. And 56% will hand your data to the government based on nothing more than an informal request. No warrant required. But what shocked even the researchers was what car companies claim the right to collect. Nissan's privacy policy mentions sexual activity, health diagnoses, genetic information. BMW claims the right to collect health data. Tesla was only the second product ever, in any category, to receive every single privacy warning Mozilla gives. And it gets worse. Cars can collect this data through sensors, cameras, microphones, connected phones, infotainment systems, and vehicle telematics. Your car knows where you go, how fast you drive, who you call, what you search for, and how much you weigh. It can read your facial expressions. And under most manufacturers' terms of service, all of that data belongs to them, not you. The machine is powerful, but it's no longer invisible. In January 2025, the Federal Trade Commission took action against General Motors, OnStar, and GM Holdings. They imposed a 5-year ban on sharing geolocation and driver behavior data, a 20-year consent order requiring affirmative express consent before collecting any connected vehicle data, but no financial penalty, not a single dollar. The FTC called it an egregious betrayal of consumers' trust. And then let GM walk away without a fine. States are doing more. Texas sued Allstate. Iowa sued GM. Nebraska sued GM. Connecticut issued dozens of violation notices. Virginia passed a bill banning the sale of precise geolocation data. Oregon updated its privacy law to cover car manufacturers. And in Congress, the Auto Data Privacy and Autonomy Act would prohibit sharing or selling driver data without explicit consent. The Repair Act would give car owners the right to access and delete their own vehicle data. But until those laws pass, Here's what you can do right now. First, request your LexisNexis consumer report. See what they have on you. Second, request your Verisk report. Third, go into your car's infotainment settings and disable connected services. Cancel any connected car app subscriptions and check privacy4cars.com. They'll tell you exactly what your car collects and how to stop it. There's also the nuclear option. The telematics module, the thing that transmits your data, connects through the shark fin antenna on your roof. Disconnect the wiring harness and your car goes dark. No more transmissions, but you'll lose emergency services, navigation, and over-the-air updates. The fact that protecting your privacy requires disabling safety features tells you everything about how this system was designed. Here's the number that puts this whole story into perspective. The global insurance telematics market, the industry built on your driving data, is worth nearly $6 billion today. By 2032, it's projected to hit almost $19 billion. And automakers? They see connected car data as an $800 billion annual revenue opportunity by the end of this decade. $800 billion. Your car was sold to you as a vehicle, but to them, it's a data harvesting platform that you paid $60,000 for and maintain at your own expense, so they can sell your behavior for 26 cents. Honda got 26 cents per car. Hyundai got 61 cents. Your entire driving profile, every trip, every break, every turn, every destination, is worth less to them than a pack of gum. But to you, it cost a 21% premium increase, or $400 a month, or being denied by 7 insurers, or having your quote jump from $1,600 to $6,600. They made pennies, you paid thousands. And until the day your car asks for your permission before it reports on you. The question isn't whether your car's watching you, it's who else is listening. If this video changed the way you look at your car, share it with someone who drives one, which is everyone. And if you're new here, The Blind Spot investigates the invisible systems that control your life, from your credit score to your insurance to the companies you've never heard of that own everything around you. Subscribe so you see what they don't want you to see.